Hey guys, it's Saturday. I have tried to make this video a couple times and it keeps ending up being way too long. So I'm going to try to go a little bit faster and be a little bit more articulate, and that way it won't take so long so people actually watch it. So the first thing that I just want to tell you about really quick is that my school had a drag show this past week, and it was really cool for two reasons. One, I had no idea that it was a huge deal, but hundreds of people ended up showing up. Like, tons. The residence hall, that's where the line was into the auditorium. It's called a ballroom, but it's really an auditorium. So there was a line from the door, and it was zigzagging all through the lobby of my residence hall. There were so many people. Like, I got off the elevator, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So that was really cool just to see that much support for something like a drag show. Like, all kinds of people were there. And the second reason that it was cool was because the Triangle Club, which is like the GSA at my school, their funding got cut for the drag show because they were in contention with another club that was having an event on the same night, and basically the school decided that more people go to the other club's events, so they were going to get the funding. So Triangle Club didn't have any money to like put any of this on. It was all volunteers, like setting up everything, organizing everything. Even the professional drag queens that came, I think there were three, maybe four. They all came for free, and just to like support SU, I guess, I don't know, but it was amazing. They were really good. They were really nice. They took pictures with people afterwards. It was really cool. There were also kids that dressed up, like kids from the school that they must have experience because they were amazing. They did like single ladies. They did like these dances. They were all choreographed. It was crazy. It was really cool. So that was really awesome, just like on a support level, just to see all those people coming out. Okay, so into the topic, which is dealing with people that don't accept you for being queer, trans, whatever. Um, I know those go into the same category. Well, sort of. I don't know. Anyway, so the first thing that I think of when I hear this topic, which might be because I'm a sociology major, I don't know, but it's just like where people's like categories of acceptance and non-acceptance come from. Um, and I've been talking about this a lot in my classes recently, just about how when people are growing up and their brains are developing, they categorize things naturally because it's a way that our brain like filters out stimuli from the world. Like when we see things, we have like stereotypical assumptions that we make based on really fast observations, and that's where prejudice comes from. Yes, but it's also a way that we can simplify our world. So it leads to people being homophobic, and the way to deal with that is you have to. This is what I would do, at least. Obviously, you don't have to do anything, but what I would do is first personify the situation, explain to the person how homophobic people have made it harder for you to live your everyday life. Um, I would start talking with them about something that they really like to do, anything, a hobby, anything, and just explain the situation. Like, what if tomorrow you woke up and you, like, it wasn't socially acceptable for you to do that anymore, and you had to have, like, this awkward, long conversation with all of the people that you spent time with and loved in order to feel comfortable doing that activity. And you felt really cheated because everyone else gets to live their life without thinking twice, but you have to go through this because everyone decided before you were born that you weren't going to be allowed to do the things that you felt most comfortable doing. And see what their reaction is to that. Obviously, people are probably going to get defensive and they're not going to be very like, oh, yeah, I see where you're coming from right off the bat, you know? But putting them in your shoes is a really good way to get people to open their eyes, and also just explaining to them your life, explaining to them situations that you go through and things like that. The second thing I would say to do after you've had that conversation is just expose them to your life, expose them to you around a person of the same sex, or in the case of being trans, expose them to you acting as the opposite sex. And just to normalize it for them. Like, obviously it takes time, but allowing them to have exposure to you, I think, will allow them to see you in the way that you view yourself more easily, hopefully. And also expose them to, this is easier in the case of being gay than in the case of being trans, but expose them to things that you still like to do that they've always known that you like to do, so that they get in their head that you're not this completely different person just because you're coming out as gay, you know? Because that your sexuality isn't everything, and they should be able to look at you and not think the very first thing they see, like, oh, they're gay or they're trans or they're lesbian or whatever. You know, they should be able to just see you as you, and then, I mean, it's harder if you're trans, but see you as you, and that this is just, you know, it's just an aspect. It's not the whole picture. So that's my advice. If that didn't really make that much sense, I'm sorry. You can post questions and I'll answer them. I'm trying to do this fast, so it might come out a little bit jumbled because my last video was 7.5 minutes that I made. And then for the question, my sweet spot, I didn't really have like a go-to answer for this because I really like having my back massaged, but that's not really a sexual thing. So I think that I would say like the back of my neck, like if you kiss the back of my neck. I'm going to say that. Yeah. Okay. Have an awesome rest of the weekend. Ask me questions if you don't understand, and I will see you guys next Saturday.